Guys, so much to talk about in this video. So much has happened. I'm going to keep you updated with my trades, my new long positions that I'm taking, what's going on with the stock market, because we had a sell signal on the weekend, I think on Friday, and it's now back in bullish territory. What do I still think about my plan? Do I think we're going back into an uptrend? Do I think we're going into a downtrend? So much news to talk about. So let's get into it. Let's start off with where I am on my trades. So basically, I was shorting a lot, right? You can see some of my trades here. I think this went into even more profit, but you can see P&L 13,000, 14,000, realized P&L 11,000. My phone just went off there. I was shorting Render 53%, Zcash 3,960. We were shorting a lot of things, right? But I'd already banked quite a bit of money. I banked nearly $9,000 on SUI here. And I said, no one went broke with stops at entry, right? If you set your stop losses to entry and you're already taking profits off the table, you can't lose, right? I always try to put myself in a position where I can't lose. Then I started taking heavy profits. So I took some more profits from Render, Zcash. Trump was in profits here as well. You can see I started to DCA out. Took more profits. Basically, some data came in and the chart started to close quite bullish. And I decided to take some profits off the table and actually opened up some long positions. And I'm going to tell you why. So I posted yesterday, 532, a DCA, a very big DCA has come in from smart money. So I could see on chain, a lot of the smart money was starting to buy all of a sudden. I'm going to take some hedge bets here, which turned out to be long positions, and I'm going to see if we have some Trump news or maybe government shutdown is coming to an end. Shortly after I took those trades, I did actually see some news come out that the government shutdown might actually be coming to an end sooner than we expect, maybe even comes to an end today. So maybe the smart money actually got the heads up that was happening and decided to buy back into the market. That's where I would speculate. It's not confirmation. Maybe there's some other news because the smart money have been buying back into the market aggressively. Stock market also found support on Friday. So do you remember I made that video at the weekend saying we had a sell signal for the first time since 2025, since Feb 25. Since we had this sell signal, we actually had a sell signal flash up. But I did say, wait for confirmation. I said it's not confirmed yet. We were all the way down here when I posted the video. We were below the 50-day moving average as well. And I said it's not confirmed yet. Let's see where it closes. It could close above and this sell could disappear. And it did end up closing above that support level on Friday, which is a bullish sign, right? Every time we've come down to this, when we've closed above, we've ended up moving back to the upside. We've ended up moving back to the upside. We've ended up moving back to the upside. So for now, the trend is your friend, right? The music's playing. We keep dancing. The trend is your friend until we get a sell signal on the stock market. I don't think there's any immediate panic right now. The trend is your friend. Yes, we are up 35-40% in a very short amount of time. Yes, the odds are highly likely that we are going to come down. Stocks take the stairs up, the elevators down. It's likely we're going to come down aggressively, but nobody knows when, right? Nobody knows when. We could just keep going up, finding support, going up, finding support. And I don't really want to take too many big reactive trades until we start to get that sell signal, just as we did last time, right? When we had the sell signal here, we shorted the market, we made an absolute killing. And then when we went into extreme fear down here, we ended up starting to buy back into the market. And again, we made a lot of money on the way up. So yeah, I did open some long positions because of the data, because of the technicals. The S&P ended up closing bullish. And we could see on chain there was a lot of data. There was also some indicators on the SMC bot that flashed up for the first time in a very long time. You see here on Ethereum where we had this bright green candle. This doesn't flash up very often. Like literally it's flashed up a few times this cycle. And it's very strong. It's basically saying it's a buy indicator, right? It's saying, look, we might have bottomed here in a big way. Okay, so when we get these dailies, it's usually in a big way. I look at the 4-hourlies quite a lot, so you probably see me look at the 4-hourlies for short-term trades. But when we get these dailies, it's very consistent. I mean, if we scroll back for Ethereum here and we look for the last time we had one of these bright green dailies, I don't think we've had one since here. So this was the last time we had one of the bright green dailies. And it really doesn't flash very often. Look, it hasn't flashed for so long. It was all the way back here. We had the last green daily at 1.5k. And this marked the bottom of this massive move to the upside, right? Because we've just come out of a massive downtrend here, right? Downtrend, downtrend, downtrend. We had this green, and then we started to get the buy signals flash. After so long without buy signals, we started to get these. So, I have to ask myself here, are we about to make the big move? These really don't appear very often, okay? They do not appear very often. I have to ask myself, are we about to make a big move to the upside? The RSI is completely oversold, okay? So that's also on our side in terms of a technical. What worried me last week is that we looked like we were going to close below this, but look at this weekly recovery here. We were sitting at pretty much $3,000, and we're now back up to 3,600 already. Very, very strong close. Look at this. I haven't talked about this on the channel as well. I drew this ages ago, and I found it recently. Sorry, this isn't the chart. This isn't the chart I want to look at. Basically, we're in a massive pennant, and we are retesting support here, and we closed above this support. So, I'll do a separate video on Ethereum, because I found this really interesting pattern that could give Ethereum a huge price target. I'm not, but people will say, are you getting bullish now? Guys, I am not bullish. I am not bearish. As you guys know, I started selling my crypto a very long time ago. I started selling my crypto here, right? For me, this was the bull run, okay? We had a pump here. This was the last cycle, big pump, right? We had a pump here, first little wave. So I think this is the first little wave pump here, first little wave here. Then we had this parabolic move to the upside. Look at that. Absolutely insane. To me, that was the bull run, and that's why I started to take some profits off the table. Sold 30% of my render here at $12.30. In my opinion, it's never coming back to $12.30. What's the price today? I mean, it's $2, right? It's $2. In my opinion, it's not coming back. Look, that's just my opinion. Could it be wrong? Absolutely. Could render go to $20, $30? Like, I hope it does for anyone who has moonbags, who is still holding. I hope it rallies. For me, I don't want to sit in hope. I don't want to sit in. If I got in the bear market down here, right, I looked at the last cycle. This is where I would want to get in. This is where I'd want to be selling. And this is where I got in, and this is where I started selling. I was happy with the gains I'd made. It went up 25x, 2,500%. Pigs get slaughtered. I didn't want to sit and hold, right? And I dollar cost averaged out. I didn't sell everything here. I sold 30%, and then I took some more profits as it went down, because, hey, most people lose in crypto, and I just wanted to put myself into that camp that have already won, right? I don't want to be in that percent that lose, because this happens once every 4 years, and I didn't want to lose. So, look, am I bullish? Am I bearish? I'm just trading, guys. I'm just trading. I get bullish down here, and then I get bearish in the pumps, right? When the market's pumping. We got Casper 2022. Don't forget how long I've been in there. I know a lot of you came in 2024, 2025, and, it's been a bit crappy for you guys. A lot of us have been here in the deep bear market, right? Casper was 50 million market cap. And I literally said, long term, this could do 30 to 60. This is where I get bullish. In the bear market, this is where I'm bullish. I was talking about long-term holding into a 30x, a 3,000% hold, which Casper went and done, right? It literally done that way down here. I think we got this before it was even listed on CoinMarketCap. Way in the bear market. And we held and we held and we held. And, we got rewarded. This was our bull run. I think this went up 3,000%, maybe even more. I think that was the bull run. That's just my speculation, right? Things done 3,000%, 2,500%. That's just my speculation. And I'm now waiting for the bear market. But what am I doing with my trades? I'm taking very small trades here, because as you can see, there's still a lot of money to be made, even by placing small bets, right? I'm just placing little 1% bets here, little 0.5%. I mean, even on this, I have like 0.3%, very small bets. But you can see here, look, BTC, $26,000 in profit, $3,000, $4,000, 8 plus 5. So we've got $13,000 here, $2,000. There's still money to be made. Is it easy? Absolutely not, right? I have to sit here watching the charts every day, watching the news every day. Sometimes I might be long in the morning, and then I might be short in the evening, right? It really depends on what Trump does, what the smart money do, what the on-chain data says, if we have some news. You really have to be on the ball if you're leverage trading. Right now in this market, usually it's not this bad, right? You buy support and then you wait. But yeah, I am just degen trading at the moment. I'm going with the market, and the data this weekend was telling me to open long positions, so I took some more profits from my shorts. I said this DCA from Smart Money looks interesting. Looks like we can see some inside information on chain. I closed my World Liberty Finance short in profits, so that was good. That was a good close because that ended up pumping. A lot of the things we closed and took profits on ended up rallying, so that was really good. What did I long? So I opened a long on Solana at $159, 1%, very small amounts, 5 to 10x, and I opened up a long on ETH at 3,450. 1%, 10 to 20x. So those are the two trades I'm in. I don't want to overtrade this move because I still want to see where the stock market goes. I'm going to show you my trade so you can see in real time. So here's my Bitcoin short. Realized P&L, so this is banked 17,200, still got 3,700 in unrealized. That the short is still open, right? I've just taken a lot of profits out, so my risk now is only $2,129, but I've already made over $20,000 in profit from that short, so I'm happy. Pigs get slaughtered. If the market and the data indicates that we go down, I don't dollar cost average out of my short. If we get data, extremely strong data like these ETH signals that we had. We also had one of these pop up on Solana. You see, we had the bright green bottom candle pop up on Solana, which it's literally popped up a couple of times this cycle. And we had the green indicator to say that the market was bottoming here. So I was looking for more upside. We'll do a separate Solana video because I think I know where the target of this is going to be. And I still think we have quite a lot of upside here. Not financial advice, just my opinion. So we had lots of data to suggest that the market might have a bounce. We were also in extreme fear, right? We were extreme fear. And this cycle, that's pretty much where we've taken most of our trades, right? We longed here, we bought the dip here. This was extreme fear. We longed here, we bought the dip here. This was extreme fear. And am I about to get egg on my face? We'll see, because I still think that this is potentially going to play out. But if this deviates and moves to the upside, then my final prediction was wrong, right? This prediction was right, this was right, this was right, but my final prediction could be wrong, and we move to the upside. Time will tell. I think for us to do that, we do need to see Bitcoin break above 110. We need to see Bitcoin break back above 110 to do that, and we're still only at 106.5. Okay, so I need to see BTC very strong here. You don't want to trend sideways here. You don't want to hang around here too long because the bears are going to get bearish. The bulls are going to get worried. We want to see a very strong bounce, just as we have the last few times, right? Last time we came down here, RSI was oversold, extreme fear, massive weekly candle push to the upside, weekly candle push, weekly candle push. We had week after week after week of bullish momentum the last time we came down to this level. I hope we can see that again, right? I'm in long positions, quite big long positions. So if I see the data is strong now, I just hold these long positions open. If I see weakness, I start to take profits from those long positions and I start to add to my short positions, right? So that's currently how I'm trading it. You can see my BNB long I've only just entered, guys. So it's literally in 3% loss. I've literally only opened this recently. And if Solana continues to move, Solana's doing well. It's in $4,700 profit, about 59%. If Solana and BTC and ETH continue to move, I think BNB is going to do a catch-up trade, right? Solana, I've already banked $940 and I'm in 4.6k profit. ETH, I'm in two Solana longs. I've got another Solana long on Aster actually, so I'm actually in. I did take 2% on Sol, but I use slightly less leverage, so 10x, but 2%. So I do have the same trade on Aster. ETH 20x. It's in 95% profit. So if you're in my group, look, some traders would take out their initial here, right? I'll just say that. Manage your own risk, but some traders would take out their initial. That way they can't lose. It's a free lottery ticket. If the market does really rally here, and let's say ETH goes to all-time high, you've made huge amounts of money, like literally ridiculous amounts of money. And if it crashes, you've lost nothing, right? If you set your stop loss at entry as well after taking out your initial, you're still bagging profits, right? Sui, I've still got my short open. I have got a stop loss at my entry, so I can't lose. But look how small the amount is now. I've already banked $12,519. There's only 1.9k left to take there. It's 127% in profit. I would like to add to my Sui short and add to my BTC short. But again, I'm going to have to make sure that we are going to reverse, right? I want to see the data indicate, and the on-chain data, the smart money, the insiders, the cabal. I want to see them taking profits at my target for the resistance where I expect there's going to be a reversal. I also want to see the smart money taking profits, right? That's going to give me confluence that we might see a reversal. So longs could stay open to all-time high. Maybe the market goes against my prediction. Maybe it goes to all-time high. So do you see my strategy here? When we're in shorts, I just slowly take profits if the market looks like it's about to reverse, if we start to get these bottom indicators flashing off saying that the market's about to bottom. And the same when we go to the upside. If it looks like we're going to keep going up, I just leave them open. I don't take too many profits. I've already shaved off a little bit off of the ETH long and the SOL long. $2,000 is banked. But if the market looks like it's going to keep going up, I want to have size, right? I want to have some nice size longs because this could bring 40,000, 50,000, maybe even 100,000 back in profits that I can use to look for new shorts on the way back down. So those are my current trades. What's going on with the market? Something's changed this cycle, right? So this is, when we talked about where I took profits, this is roughly where we took profits around March 24. And this is where I said, I think this is the bull run, right? I think this is the top of the market when we started to take profits from Render, Casper, Solana, and we have not made a high since then. We just trended down. And you see how last cycle, this is what we all kind of expected. We all expected altcoins to follow this same move that, it was the same as Bitcoin, but just like on a greater scale. And Bitcoin would move up and alts would just go crazy. We started to see that, but then it faded. It really faded. And alts really underperformed. Bitcoin kind of went sideways here and alts just completely crashed. Then we had, in my opinion, was a relief rally. And this is where we took our next batch of profits, right? And we moved some of our money into stocks. We could see that, hey, Bitcoin's just gone up, just doubled in price, and altcoins have barely moved to their previous highs. Okay, because we sold Render here at 12.30. Bitcoin doubled in price and Render was still at a lower price. That's a massive red flag. When altcoins have barely moved and Bitcoin just doubled in price, that's not what we saw last cycle. You can see here where Bitcoin doubled in price. Look what alts did. Absolutely ballistic. There was no point holding BTC last cycle because if BTC went up 50%, alts went up 1,000%. We've seen a breakaway, and I'm so glad that we realized this quite early, guys, because it was mainly here where I started to buy stocks, and I realized that this trend is shifting. People are buying AI, people are buying tech stocks, and tech stocks are moving faster than altcoins right now. And we moved some money into quantum computing, and it really went crazy. It went up like 400%. So I'm very happy. I don't know where we are now. I don't know what's going to happen this cycle. One thing I do know is that this move here where we saw Bitcoin double in price and we saw no reaction from altcoins, what are people waiting for alts right now and Bitcoin? I don't know. If you think Bitcoin can go up to 125k again, where are alts going to go? Because we watched Bitcoin go from 50k to 100k and alts didn't even return to some of their previous highs back here, right? So I don't know what people are hoping for. Look, I hope it works out, but it seems like we are here to me. You see this period here, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. It seems like a downtrend. I mean, call me crazy. It seems like an altcoin downtrend. And it seems like the best we could hope for here is a relief rally and a final chance to exit altcoins. So for now, I continue to look for short positions on altcoins. And I'd like to see a nice relief rally to resistance. And that's where I'm looking to take some more shorts or even add to my Sui short or add to my existing shorts that I have open. So I think this was the bull run, guys. Time will tell. I've got called smooth brains, done money, for 2 years now, but so far, so good taking profits and keeping that money in stable coins, right? DYOR News, great channel. Go and follow Rob if you're not following, posting great alpha nearly every day. Trump came out with a 50-year mortgage. Big red flag. China has 70 and 80-year mortgage loans. Something's happening under the cracks, right? We're seeing debt, credit card debt at all-time high. We're seeing borrowing at all-time high. We're seeing the stock market's in extreme fear, but the stock market is pretty much at all-time high. Something is happening beneath the cracks, and we're now starting to see these 50-year mortgages and 80-year mortgages and 70 in China. What's actually going on here? Are they struggling in the housing market? Are people struggling to get housing, to get mortgages? Are we going to go into a 100-year mortgage? Are people going to be paying rent for the rest of their lives? There's a lot of red flags happening in the market right now. Watch a Guru. President Trump says America will get at least 2,000 dividend payment, excluding high income earners. Very, very bullish. Okay, super, super bullish. This is a lot of money that might be injected back into the ecosystem. Historically, this does lead into pumps in the crypto market. Now, we know the altcoin market is is underperforming heavily. So is this going to go and pump alts to the moon? I don't know, especially as they've underperformed so well. A lot of retail will look at the market and just think, I lost a lot of money this cycle, or it hasn't done very well, or I didn't buy in the bear market, I bought in late. And they might go into Bitcoin. They might go into some of the lower cap alts like BNB, Solana. They might go into some of the bigger caps. I don't know how that's going to go. I also don't know where and when this money is going to be distributed, right? I think I do have another post here about that somewhere. So the Kabisi letter posted, stimulus checks are back. President Trump just announced tariff dividend payment of $2,000 per American. This is for high earners only, right? Low earners only. High earners don't get access to it. So they shouldn't, right? No, they don't need the money. We expect 85% of US adults to receive this, resulting in 400 plus billion handout. That's really good, man, because people are really struggling and, people want to invest and they can't invest. And if you can 10x $2,000, that's 20 grand. And then if you can 10x that, that's 200 grand. Just 2 trades. If you took a short here, that 2 grand was 20 grand. And then if you took a long here, that 20 grand, it could have been like 100 grand or 200 grand, just 2 simple trades. So $2,000 might not sound like a lot, but it is a lot of money that, you only need to hit 2 successful trades to turn into a potential property, right? That stimulus. Now, did you notice it said tariff, right? It said from the tariffs. We don't know when that tariff court case is going to end, and we also don't know whether the courts are going to rule against it. Now, Donald Trump come out and said if they rule against the tariffs, it's going to be, I think he said the words, the end of America, or I think he said it's going to be catastrophic for America. So that's going to be a real big black swan if we get a ruling against tariffs and they have to refund all of that tariff money, that some of it might already have been spent, right? It's going to put more debt on the USA. They're going to have to refund it. It's going to be an absolute logistical nightmare. Getting all that money back to people. Even me, I've paid a lot of money in tariffs from imports from the USA, and they're going to have to refund that back to me. Like, it's insane the amount of work and effort that they would have to do to process all that, and they would lose all of that tariff money. So you can see what Trump's trying to do here, right? He's trying to get the people on his side and say, look, we're actually going to give all of this tariff money to the people of America, and that money could be injected back into the economy. People are going to be able to pay off some of their debts. It's going to be good for the system. There's a lot of debt in the system, right? Credit card debt reached all-time high. But the courts might win. We still have to be open to that idea of the courts winning. So if Trump wins, we're probably not going to see much change, right? Maybe a small pump in the markets because tariffs already exist. But if the court wins and the stock market is at all-time high, Bitcoin is not far from all-time high, and the court wins, we might see a sudden panic sell-off as people start to realize they're not going to get that QE 2K, that $2,000 that Trump talked about, and also all of the tariff money has to be refunded. I think we're going into a bear market in 2026, so you could argue that this could be the catalyst for a very, very aggressive start to a bear market, especially as jobs data is likely going to come out bad. This is not going to help with that, right? So I think we're going to have one of the most aggressive bear markets in 2026 because stock valuations have reached all-time high and there's so many cracks in the system. Again, just my speculation. I could be wrong. Maybe we continue to rally for another year. Trade it as you will. Bitcoin OGs keep moving money. So Ted has posted here, Bitcoin OG transferred $372 million in BTC the other day. and it's being moved to Kraken. We're seeing loads of these OG wallets starting to empty their accounts completely, which is very strange. Some of the times they'll DCA out or they'll take some profits, but we're seeing a lot of these OG whale accounts, and actual whale activity has reached highs we've never seen before. It does seem like more and more people are taking profits. James Wynn, very hard to trade now. James Wynn is wrong most of the time, so he got extremely bearish. And was short, but didn't take profits and got liquidated 6 times. Okay, so he didn't take profits off the table. He didn't adapt to the market. He didn't flip long. He stayed into his bearish ways, which is what a lot of retail traders do. You know, they stay in their ways. They're not able to snap out of their emotions and switch and flip positions when the data changes. And he is still mega short, and he's still bearish today. I don't know what's going on with James. I don't know whether he is a character that's been placed in here or if he's a genuinely bad retail trader. I was worried that if he was a character that's been placed, is that he was actually going to be right this time, and he was actually, so many people were doing the opposite to him, that could be the final plan, right? Maybe he's a character that's been designed to be wrong over and over again, right? Over and over again, that so many people just trade against him. And then eventually, when the time's right, so let's say it's the top of the market, he goes super bearish. His biggest call, right? This is my trade. I have 100% conviction. I'm going all in on this short. And people are in such disbelief that they end up going long, right? Everyone goes long and tries to counter James. And then James ends up being right. And then he mocks everyone all the way down as he was right and they were wrong. And then he calls the bottom and people think he called the top. Maybe he's going to get the bottom right. And it's not the actual bottom, right? There's probably going to be loads of games with James. From listening to him, I don't think it's that deep. I love a conspiracy, guys, but I don't think it's that deep. I've listened to him on talks, and if you were going to use someone to try and fool the market, I guess you would use an idiot. To be honest, I guess you would use a bit of an idiot, but maybe it would be more effective if you had someone who actually sounded like they knew what they were doing. I don't know. I wouldn't look. I would look at the James data as for confluence, but I really wouldn't. It's not going to factor in too much into my calls, because if it is designed to manipulate you, then why would I be looking at this for data, right? If it is designed for mind games, then why would I be looking at it? But for now, I just treat it as retail behavior. Arthur Hayes says his second biggest bag is Zcash. So Zcash is up, I believe, how much? 20x, 10x, 15x. We're seeing a lot of the biggest names in the space talking about Zcash all of a sudden. I'm not sure why there wasn't a lot of Zcash talk down here, right? I didn't really see anyone really talking about Zcash is this, Zcash is that. But now we're seeing in these kind of areas that Zcash is people's biggest holdings, and they're so bullish on it, and they think it's going to do this and that, and they think it's going to change the world. We'll come back to Zcash. Great buy signal from the SMC bot. I didn't see this. I didn't buy into Zcash. I did post about this, saying that the chances of buying, Zcash down here in a sea of altcoins of millions, you had higher chances of winning on a scratch card as opposed to buying at the end of the market. I prefer to buy these projects in the bear market, and in the bear market, this is what they look like. This was Q4 still, but I don't buy up here. I don't buy things that have pumped a lot. I don't buy things that are high, because if we go and look at Zcash, it's done this every cycle, right? It done this when Bitcoin topped last cycle. When Zcash topped around here, Bitcoin topped at 68k, and it actually marked the top of the market. So yeah, be very, very careful with this, guys. I would lean towards high certainty that this is going to come straight back down and done what it's done every cycle, which has probably come down. I mean, it went to $700 and it came down to $27. Okay, so imagine buying Zcash at $700 or $600, and then you're in a bear market because you believed and hoped it was going to work out, and you held it down to $27. How devastated would you be? It's similar. A lot of people actually told me they were going to hold Illuvium, ILV. I sold it at $1,400, and I think today, let's go and have a look. ILV. Today it's $10, right? Absolutely disgusting. I sold it at $1,400, and today it's $10. Horrendous for those who held and had conviction. And but buy dumps, sell pumps is the motto, and this is not a dump, guys. Congratulations to everyone who bought this early. I know some traders who actually got into this quite early, so congratulations who got into that early. And what would I do right now? I would just dollar cost average out. There's no rush to panic sell everything. I would just dollar cost average out, and when we break trend line, I would sell everything when we broke that trend line, right? The trend is your friend until the end. Maybe it goes to 1,000, maybe it goes to 2,000. I would just sell when it breaks trend. Pal says job creation is close to zero. Every time I talk about us going into a very bad job phase, a lot of my normie channels, I love to get the normie retail consensus. They come back and say, it's all propaganda. AI is not taking jobs. AI can't do my job. I feel like most of the world is going to get hit so hard by AI, by robots, by machines taking jobs from the market. We're starting to see recruiters are being fired and laid off now. We're starting to see Amazon came out and said they're going to replace 70% of their workforce, which is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people from the company. I do feel like we're going to get some really, really bad job data. Probably the worst decline. I think obviously we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg right now, but I think over the next year we're going to get hit very, very bad by jobs, which is going to affect the earnings sector, which historically has scared the stock market when the earnings drop, right? Because people's earnings slowly go into the stock market. Some people just dollar cost average every week, every month. And if we start to see a massive decline in jobs when the stock market is at all-time high and everyone is in massive gains, because we've had a hard time in crypto, guys, don't forget, many people went into Palantir, many people went into NVIDIA, and these low-risk things have done a 15, 20x. And a lot of people have made a colossal amount of money. And what goes up often comes down. And as soon as that data hits, we could see a topple. We could see a topple in the market. So be cautious of that. The UK to cap stablecoin holdings at £20,000. For some reason, the UK have taken a very anti-innovation approach when it comes to crypto. I don't know how they're going to tackle this, because they're going to push more and more people away from the country. More and more people are going to leave the UK. Countries like America are starting to receive a lot of people. Dubai, Singapore, Italy. There's a lot of different countries that are receiving a lot of people, and the more you try and limit, and the more you try and roll out these strict control measures, I think they're going to lose more and more people. So I don't know why they are moving against innovation, especially when the US is one of your biggest allies, and the US just rolled out a stablecoin regulation, and actually they're moving more and more into stablecoins, right? We're seeing some of the biggest companies and institutions say stablecoins are going to be the future, but we're seeing the complete opposite from England. So yeah, I don't know what's going on in the UK. I think 20,000, they're going to lose a lot of the billionaires and a lot of the millionaires, which in turn is going to put stress on the average worker, which is going to, people are going to have to pay more taxes, because a lot of the money from the billionaires and the millionaires and the business owners is what keeps the country going. So yeah, it seems like they're still taking a strict policy for now. I don't know whether that's going to change in the next administration, but yeah, not looking good over in the UK. We've talked about the stimulus check. That could be an injective. Is it going to come this year is the question, right? Because if it's a tariff dividend, surely the courts aren't going to allow this refund to Americans before the decision. Because imagine that. Imagine you give the tariff money away to the American people. You can't take it back from them. It's been spent. You're going to what? Borrow? Take more debt? Take on more debt? The US is already in insane debt. It's at 38 trillion now, and it just keeps getting higher. And the tariff dividend as well, going out to users. The community, the community going out to the residents is going to add to it as well. Eric Trump says Bitcoin is going to 1 million. So we keep seeing these posts from Brian Armstrong, Eric Trump, Larry. I think Larry originally quoted 400, 500K. It was crazy. But the OGs are selling, right? So we're seeing the usual headlines we get around the end of the market, but we're also seeing the OGs who are selling, the Bitcoin maxis who have been holding Bitcoin so many years starting to sell. Why are they selling? They're going to miss out on the 10x, right? Why are they selling right now? Do they know what they're doing? Are they stupid? Are they idiots? Well, they're obviously not idiots, right? Because they wouldn't have $500 million sitting on the table. Crypto fear and greed is back in fear. So we were in extreme fear. This was another reason I started to take some long trades. Every time we've come into extreme fear this cycle, we have seen a bullish trade. That's why I don't get married to my positions. I'm short until proven otherwise. And I started to get proven otherwise. And that's why I took some profits off my shorts. I still want to take profit on my BTC short at 50K. But as you've seen, I took some profits off the table. It's still open. I could close it today and take an extra, what is it, 4 or 5 grand? But I still would like to add to that if we push up, and I still would like to take profits at 50K. We'll see how things go. Again, I'm just reacting to the markets and the news at the moment. We've talked about Zcash. Look, it's impossible to try and know where this is going to go, guys. This is manipulation. We all know it's manipulation. This is extremely difficult to analyze because the transactions are hidden. Maybe that's why it's easy to push this up in price. We do have major accounts also shilling it as well, so there will definitely be some retail coming into this, especially new retail who don't know any different, right? Who don't know how the space works. Coming in to Zcash for the first time, which is sad because they're like, the chances are that they're going to end up losing most of their money holding this in froth and FOMO and belief. But we don't know where it's going to go. There's a lot of people trying to short this with big amounts. There's a lot of people longing this with big amounts, and we had a lot of liquidations on these scammy wicks here. So I would prefer to avoid it. I closed my Zcash trade. I took profits on my Zcash trade. I did hit a stop loss on one back down here. I've only taken a couple of trades. I'm glad I closed out my trade because I think that would have hit my stop loss in this pump. No, my stop loss actually was over all-time high, so it would have been all right. But I don't want to sit and hold and hope. So I'm not going too crazy on the shorts. I don't want to give them too much money either. I don't want to go crazy on the shorts with this, especially when it's manipulated. I prefer to trade things that are at least going to hopefully move organically. Another reason Zcash had a sell-off, there was a post here from Preach for being such a huge player. Oh, he's calling out CZ, getting that arse whooped by an MFR in a dress on the chart. So he was calling out A-Star. About Zcash. So I think he's a Zcash maxi, and he was saying that you got beaten by this MFR in a dress. So it came out, this image of the founder came out from Zcash, which fudded the Zcash price and actually brought the price down quite a lot. Look, I don't care what you do in your personal life. Like, do what you want to do. What I don't like is people pushing ideologies into blockchain projects. Like, this is code. We're investing in code. The code doesn't have left. It doesn't lean left. It doesn't lean right. It doesn't have an ideology. It doesn't fit a specific type of gender or race. Doesn't matter, who you are. Like, why are we integrating, or trying to integrate our ideologies into these blockchain projects? It should be, completely neutral. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what background. So personally, I don't like it when people try to roll out their ideologies into these projects or platforms. So yeah, for me, I don't like Zcash anyway. But yeah, I'm out. Solana, we've talked about the green bottoming signal, looking strong. I'm in a long. The trend is your friend until proven otherwise. The SMC bot has given me a very strong buy signal that doesn't flash up very, very often. And Solana is also down a lot, right? It's been a long time since we had a sell signal. We had a sell signal from Solana up here at $216. And we've not had a buy signal since. And, what a sell signal that was. Because if you took that it came all the way down to, wait a minute, we've just lost the soul chart. It came all the way down to 147, right? So what a great short. We did re-enter a short here at 201, and then I hit my stop loss at like 202 or something. I set my stop loss so tight. Because every time we come back to this SMC resistance, we tend to get rejected. So you guys can probably guess what's the trade I'm looking for next. I'm looking for a rejection at the SMC daily. So if we can get here, we'll make an absolute killing on our long position on Solana, right? We'll absolutely print. If we can get back to this SMC daily, history has told us that we're going to reverse here. So that's kind of the next trade I'm looking at. Push up to resistance. This would be quite a big move. This would also liquidate a lot of the late shorts. And then the question is, do we come down here for a reversal? Okay, similar to the move we've had here. We pushed up to the SMC daily. We got rejected. Are we going to do this and get rejected here? Or going to give you Moon Boys a bull case here. This green candle doesn't come up very often. We know the RSI on the weekly is completely oversold. Let's go bull case. We get rejected from the resistance. Okay, we come down and then we push to the upside and we have our Q4 rally. Maybe for this we need the Trump QE. Maybe we need the liquidity from the Trump, the $2,000 to everyone. That would be a very, very bull case. Let's see if that brings us back to our golden ratio if we do see this pullback. So yeah, oh my days, look at that. So if we do get rejected here, well, it's roughly the golden ratio zone. So it's almost the golden ratio zone. So that would line up quite nice for a pullback and a push to the upside. Those are the kind of two trades I'm looking at. Those are the two trades. Again, as you know, guys, I'm always analyzing the on-chain data. I'm looking at the smart money. I could see the smart money were buying in very heavy. That's why I started to look for some new long positions. And the trend is your friend for now. Same with BTC. We're still on a sell signal. We're still in a downtrend. We are bouncing off this orange line. But we are still in a downtrend until proven otherwise. The death cross is about to happen as well. Look at this. The 50-day and the 200-day are about to cross. And the question is, what's going to happen when these two things cross, which might be Friday. It might be this Friday that they actually cross. So very soon, and that would be into a weekend as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Are we going to have a relief rally, death cross, and then tank to the downside? Or are we going to relief rally here, hold up, find support, and then try and break out into a bullish momentum? Those are the two main trades that I'm looking at right now. And if we get up to these levels, what am I going to do? Obviously take some profits from my long positions, right? And potentially look for shorts. But again, it's going to have to be on the day. I'm going to have to see the news, what's going on with Trump, what are the smart money are doing. People say, oh, aren't you bullish? Aren't you bearish? Who knows where the market's going to be on Friday, guys? Like, people are in court. We're getting Powell come out saying jobs is not going to be good. They came out the other day saying that there might be a recession next year. GDP is going to be negative this Q4. Like, who knows? I mean, I don't know how any of you are long-term bearish or bullish when the entire economy could be flipped on its head in a single week. I'm literally just trading now, and my opinions could be different in 3 days, in 4 days. The technicals say we're at support, okay? So we bounced off this level. We've done quite well. I will admit, I did think we were going to try and close below this level based on history. The death cross still hasn't happened, so we still have a week or so. But if we want to stay bullish, we want to stay above this SMC weekly support here. You see this green weekly support? Every time we've got back above this, it's been bullish, and we've continued to move to the upside, and it's kind of marked the bear market bottom. See down here? We kind of tested it, and then we moved to the upside very fast. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, bang, we were up quite a lot, right? 1, 2, 3, bang, we were up quite a lot. We did come back for a little retest, but then we continued to move to the upside. Very easy period, really, if you think about it. Even though it's difficult to understand where we're going from here, very easy to trade. Bearish below, okay, so bearish below this support, bullish above. Very, very easy trade. I'm in longs, and I'm taking profits from my shorts. Get below this, best believe I'm looking for more downside, right? Very nice level for us to trade right now. I think that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to get the SMC bot in your own trading views, head over to my X. So search for this one. Head over to my X. Click the link. So click this link here, and that'll take you to the area where you can join the Discord. It's a monthly fee. So look, if it's not for you, you can leave at any time. Just unsubscribe, and you can leave any time. So you can try it out for a month. You know, pay for 1 month, see if it's for you. You can see all my buy and sell alerts, all the trades I'm taking. It's not just me. You know, we've got a bunch of here. We've got 53 people online today using the SMC bot. So there's a lot more. We have around 600 people who have the SMC bot in total. So yeah, big community using that. And if you want to join us, you want to see our trades, we've got trench channels. We've got a professional leverage trader in here as well, who's more of a day trader. They give setups in here, so you can see that their trades. They haven't lost any trades since any months. They've been positive every month since January, since I hired them. So they're killing it. And because if they weren't, they'd be gone, right? I wouldn't still be paying them large amounts of money every month. So very, very good trader. I use them for confluence. I trade a lot more than they do, so I'm more of a degen trader. But I use them for confluence because when they have trade ideas and setups, they're usually quite consistent and they have nice risk management with stop losses. So some really good stuff there. Obviously, we've got all the on-chain data, so you can see what the smart money are doing in real time as well. This is connected to the blockchain, so we can see the smart money sent MET. So I'm seeing a lot of smart money trading MET, so I need to go and check what's going on with that. Are they dumping it? Are they selling it? Sent is usually selling, so it usually means they're selling. So I might end up looking for short positions on that. See if we can see any alpha in here. A lot of ETH is getting traded. Yeah, so really cool. We got retail in here. We've got KOLs, so you can see what the KOLs are doing. We're actively tracking lots of KOL wallets. We can see what they're doing in real time. Top balance changes, so when the founders and the whales start to move tokens or sell tokens, that can be a really good signal as well. So yeah, head over to my X if you want to see that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to stay on, if you want to see the updates and the videos that I'm doing. Do you like longer form videos? Because my videos do drag on a lot. Do you like these longer form videos, or do you prefer shorter videos? Do you want me to do shorter videos like 3, 4, 5 minutes? Or do you prefer these long videos where we look at the market as a whole? Yeah, that's it for now, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.